I'm just the chamber director here, and the chamber's role in the Fort Atkinson is really just to serve as a connector for our community. So with the city's help, we identified property owners with buildings on Main Street that are either vacant or are not being used to their full potential at this time. We contacted them and we inquired about their interest in participating in the program, and after several conversations, we were able to determine which buildings would be the best fit. We've also been working to create interest in the competition. Maybe people have seen my social media posts, things like that. And then at this time, we're going to actually invite a couple of our chamber members up to talk. Erin, I know that you're here. And then Amanda Cheek, I believe, also is here to speak about being an entrepreneur with a business on Main Street. So.
Hello, my name is Erin Patterson, and my family and I are business owners in Fort Atkinson. The adventure in entrepreneurship for us began in 2012 with the purchase of Patty's Pub. That was a business that I worked at for 3 years prior to it. And then I founded a nonprofit in 2014, which is Patty's Paws, a dog rescue. In 2017, we found out we were expecting our first child and thought that was the ideal time to buy the adjacent building and do an expansion on the pub. No one has ever called us sane. Then in 2020, with baby number 2 on the way, we thought that would be an even better time to do it all over again and renovate a building that is now called 1062 Saloon. The process brought out both the best and the worst experiences in our business owning adventures. From completely clearing our savings, our children's savings, and putting our assets and sanity on the line, to enduring pretty harsh criticism from a select few, it took a literal toll. There were some days and a few people who made it not seem worth it. But now, as we drive by and see the lights on, spilling into our downtown, it reminds us that it is worth it. A thriving, open, bright downtown business is worth it. And it's not just for us. To make it through inevitable hurdles, you need reasons why to be bigger than your reasons why not. And we happen to have 2 little but really big reasons, and those are our children. We want our children to grow up in a thriving city, one where businesses flourish, charities thrive, and communities come together.
I am Amanda Cheek. I own Rock River Optical down in Fort Atkinson, right on 232 South Main Street. Optical business, a little different than some of the other businesses downtown. So I want to actually say I stumbled into that business because, one, I am from Fort Atkinson, born and raised, graduate 2004 from the high school here. It's got a lot of history. So that to me is really neat to kind of be practicing in that building with so much history. It's been there for so long, and now I get to be a piece of that. So yes, the optical side of things is really neat. I'm learning a lot in that business because I've never owned a business before. And so the 2 years have been a very big area of growth for me, optically and business owning and whatnot. But just being a part of Fort, I finally get to put my name in a business. And so I'm very excited about that. And
so I am here representing the Fort Atkinson Community Foundation. If you didn't know, Fort Atkinson has a wonderful community foundation. We have about 40 million in assets. And we are very excited because our vision statement is a better Fort Atkinson. And so when Rebecca, the city of Fort Atkinson, wrote a grant request to the foundation for funds for this project to partner with the chamber, the city, and then the UW-Whitewater Enactus group, we thought this is a great opportunity for us. And so
the really big exciting things was we did kick this off with a logo competition, and we did have about 10 different logos that were submitted. And we wanted to recognize Bob, if you can come up for us.
Well, hello, I'm Rebecca Hausman. I'm the city manager here for the city of Fort Atkinson. I will let Sarah introduce herself when it's her time. I want to thank everybody who's here. I also want to thank all of our all the contributors to this. It's really been a great start to the program, and that logo is awesome. So thank you. Loved it. So I just want to talk a little bit about something else that the city is doing. Our Capital Catalyst Revolving Loan Fund to support small businesses, business expansion here. And, it's already been referenced that Facebook post about, what kind of businesses you want to see here, which I thought was a great way to kind of kick this off. A lot of what people said are businesses that we're already supporting and we have through our Capital Catalyst revolving loan fund. So somebody said they're an indoor playground. Well, yeah, we actually just loaned, $50,000 to Little Rainbow so they could start an indoor playground here in Fort Atkinson. So I see this as some great synergy for us to all work together towards this goal. The city supports all sorts of businesses, and when we're really excited to see this pitch competition and what we can come up with in our downtown. We do have, I did bring an updated number, we do have still $153,000 in our Capital Catalyst revolving loan fund. We have to date loaned out $447,000, but we still do have $153,000. So if anyone here is interested, or maybe how we can support you moving past the 1 year of free rent for the winter, maybe this is something we can look into helping with as well. So lots of information on the Capital Catalyst revolving loan fund on our website. We certainly don't need to go into all of that, but another resource and another way that we can continue to work together to support our businesses here and make sure our downtown remains vibrant and thriving. So with that, I will let Sarah.
So as you've seen already, the city of Fort Atkinson, I should introduce myself. I'm Sarah Wired. I'm the Public Relations Executive Assistant for the city of Fort Atkinson. I've been in this role for about 3 years and have kind of the unique opportunity to market our city for all the great things that are happening here, and this is definitely one of them. So as you can see, over the past several years, the city has been supporting small businesses through the Capital Catalyst revolving loan fund. You saw a lot of the businesses that were mentioned earlier, and 6 of these businesses were new to Fort Atkinson, and 2 of them are actually in our downtown area. So that's pretty exciting. With the help of the chamber and a post from the Fort Atkinson Community Network that was already discussed a little bit, we learned last week that residents are interested in a lot of different kinds of businesses here in Fort Atkinson, from a deli to a yoga and bar studio, toy store, craft and fabric stores, so many different things. So it's exciting to see the different things, businesses that people are interested in and what will bring them to downtown. And like Rebecca said, we are excited that some of the businesses that people mentioned in this post were ones that have been awarded the loan through the city. And, it kind of brought some more awareness to those businesses for people who didn't know they existed. One person commented, I really wish we had an indoor playground. We do. It's great. Somebody else said, I wish we had a bakery. We do. We have a great bakery. Those are both, recipients of the Capital Catalyst revolving loans. So we're really excited about that. Oh, there we go. So the city is committed to supporting Boost and the businesses that come from it, and probably more than just the winner. So we're excited to see where this takes the city and the business owners that come out of it, and we're really hopeful of the great ideas that this will bring to the downtown. And it takes more than one kind of business to have a diverse downtown. Just like Amanda was talking about, you need those different types of businesses here. So we're excited to see what this will bring.
All right, so my name is Chojan Basu. I'm actually a resident of Fort Atkinson. I've been here since 2002 almost. Some of you probably know my son Caleb Basu. You may have encountered him. He's very active in Fort in high school and stuff. The reason I put this book up here right in the beginning is, Shauna talked about this briefly, is we always talk about community. And so I'm not going to get into a lecture on community, but this is a book I would highly recommend. I wouldn't recommend the whole book, it's that thick. But if you go check out on YouTube or something and check this out, community is very, very important. You can't lose it. It goes back historically. This is probably one of the greatest books written on the history of humanity and how we evolved and so on. and tribes and communities are really important. What we're doing here is it's not just a storefront pitch competition. It's really about seeing what our community, what the potential is, right? And Aaron talked about something. I was paying attention. You said that some people, when you were talking about going through your stuff, you probably got critiqued or stuff. There's always, I've done a lot of community projects that happens, right? So I'm expecting some people to critique this, right? And hopefully make it better. But if you're just there to critique, just critique away at me. I've got a very thick skin. I've done this multiple times. And what I want to show you is something, this is a formula that works. All right, it's been proven in multiple places. That's what we do. So, all right, with that in mind, let's see. All right, so let me start with this because a couple of other things that came up in the presentation that are going on today, and also in the YouTube postings that I saw. It's always we chuckle about this because we've been through this multiple times. So I'm going to ask you this: do you guys know what these people are doing? If you've seen this before, don't give it away. Yeah, it looks like that, right? Stuff. Okay, so here's the answer. What she's collecting back there is air, and what he's bottling is air, which he's going to sell at about 78 pounds in a couple of places in the world. The point I'm trying to make is this: people laugh at this. He's literally bottling air in Yorkshire, England, and he's selling it because there's a market in China when they were having a lot of issues with breathing clean air and stuff. He was selling it for about 70 pounds. Okay. The reason I always like to start with this is it doesn't matter what people listed in that YouTube stuff. If you don't understand your market, if you don't understand what the community needs, it's never going to work. So our job and what we try to run is to help you start a storefront that helps you understand the process. It's called customer discovery, of understanding what the community needs so that your business succeeds. People who run storefronts and small businesses can tell you very quickly, the chance of success is pretty hard. It's not an easy thing. But if you go through the process where you're actually designing something that there's a market for, in this case it was air, just literally bottling air, people will pay for it. All right. Anyway, his story goes on this. So what we have is a project called the City Pitch Competition. That's what we do. First, let me tell you very quickly who these gentlemen are. I think we've got 40 students who are part of Enactus. They're social entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who are going to be the future. You're going to see more and more of them. They're going to create companies like Patagonia, Ben & Jerry, which are social corporations. Most people don't realize that. They have a social conscience, social or environmental in their case, right? So what they do is they use entrepreneurial business techniques to try to solve problems. In this case, little communities, medium-sized communities where the downtowns are dying. We started looking at what solutions we have that we can use. And they basically go through, work on the stuff. Their takeaway is if they do it successfully, they get to present this at a national competition. When we started in 2009, we didn't know what we were doing. In 2021, they were national champions. They actually represent the United States against the world, 35 other countries. So they know what they're doing now. And by the way, the project that won them was about blindness and cataract surgeries. So when you talked about optics and optical and stuff, I was like, we need to talk sometime. So what they do is they represent, this is called the UN 17. You can look it up, United Nations 17. These are sustainable goals that if you hit these goals, you can create a sustainable planet. That's what they are driven by. So they go to this competition in Enactus nationally and they compete and they present that. This is from our workshop. We ran this competition. We always do pilots. We ran it last year in Whitewater. It was called Wind Up. In fact, I was talking to the tailor who ran it even yesterday morning. I think they're going to replicate it without our help, which is exactly what we want. We want to teach you the stuff and step back and let the community keep running it. So I love the logo, by the way, because hopefully what will happen, it's not going to be a one-time. You can keep repeating it multiple times. But what we do is we run 4 workshops. I'll tell you about them in a second here. This was one of the businesses that we helped last year. And it's part of the pitch competition. So for those of you who may not have fully understood what the concept is this: it's a pitch competition. We're giving, and the community gets to decide this. We don't. We just ask you to kind of decide this. Giving rent for a year. So if you win rent for a year downtown and hopefully a location. So we have already talked to many of the landlords who are interested, and you'll basically get those locations. And after that, like the city has some other funds, and there may be other people that'll be involved. But there's two very unique things that we do that I want to kind of mention, and then I'll have the students talk about this after I finish. We learned from doing this that just bringing a bunch of judges to decide who wins is a bad idea. So we actually have built an app, and Sadiq is here. He's going to be running the app this year. Sadiq basically will run a mobile app, which is already built, and you will get to see the pitches from the businesses we'll help. They'll each create a 3-minute video of what their business is, and we'll open it up to the community. When we did it in Whitewater, we had over 3,200 votes. So we get a lot of people to vote on their favorite ideas, correct? And basically pick the businesses that are the top ones. So I can give you some numbers. Some people are asking me about this. Whitewater, we started with 21 businesses. By the time we finished the second workshop, it had gone down to 19. I guess we scared away a few people. And then it went down to about 13 or 14 people that submitted their videos. From that, Whitewater decided to pick the top 8, and then we bring it in front of judges. They ran it as a pitch competition that you presented in front of judges. We don't like to do that. We recommend you should do interviews. You'd sit down with those people, the top 6, the top 8, sit down, talk to them about their business, ask them questions like the guy with the air. Who is your target market, right? Who are you selling to? How, what is your strategy? So essentially, we run you through these workshops. It'll be through the month of February. I have another slide on that. But basically, what we try to do is to prepare you for this. So how do you do this? I mean, how do we know this works? This guy's a graduate of Whitewater, very successful, Quince tutor. He wrote a book called The Vibrant Community. If you're doing any work in economic development stuff, this book I would highly recommend. He pulled off just a miracle in Pensacola, and now it's being replicated in other places. Pensacola, when he started with this intersection where he puts in always, you remember that list you saw of all the different stores? He always puts in 3 stores: coffee house, an olive oil store, and a chopped salad. That's the 3 businesses he puts in. And then he funds the 4th and the 5th one for a free rent. So he ran this for him in Janesville. So if you've ever been to Janesville, downtown, the Bodacious, Block 42, that was the project we did for Quince Tutor. We replicated this in South Bend in Indiana. We tested the app at that time, and then of course we did it in Whitewater. And we did a slightly different version of this, which I don't have time to get into today, at Edgerton. So we've done that last year. So this year we're doing it in Fort Atkinson, Cambridge, and Wauwatosa. So those are 3 places we have picked. That's what we have time for. There's 40 of them, but 20 of them are working on a project in Guatemala. So they're pretty busy with that. So the Vibrant Community was very successful the first time in Pensacola, completely changed everything. That's the picture from Janesville downtown. And then we replicated this in South Bend, and here we are, right? So it has to be a community-driven project, and this is what the timeline looks like. I'll stop here. Basically,